Alright boys, how you doing? Let's get into my early FIFA 23 review before the full game is released. So again, just to say, because you may be watching this like a month or two later, this is before the full release of the game, with the beta out, and of course the early access also being dropped as well. So I must say, if you guys may be really confused, no, I am not an EA game changer. No, I've not got the full game early. I have just got the beta. So one of my viewers gave me their account kindly so I could co-play the beta, and I wanted to wait until the content creators did their videos as well, getting the early release, kind of like what has kind of changed since the beta before I do an actual video on this, in terms of gameplay, in terms of career mode, in terms of FUT. And I've got down on a list here of like things that I noticed a change or not a change when I played it. You guys know me, I'm opinionated when it comes to things with FIFA, and I got my own preference in terms of what I would want from a FIFA game, in terms of gameplay. And you guys may have your opinions as well. So tell me down below in the comments your thoughts on the game, if you guys did indeed play the beta, or just if you haven't, just from what you've seen from the content that you can see online. And let's begin. Yo, do you play FIFA 22? Yeah. Is your team bang average? You absolute pathetic piece of... You're saying that to the viewers? No, obviously. Ah, okay. I mean you. Do you face teams like this? You can't keep getting away with it! Do you know there's a way to get coins? Why are you shouting at me? Then go to userbuy.com for the cheapest and most reliable place to buy your coins on FIFA 22. Link is down below in the description, and also use code Vizeh at checkout to get a discount. Before we even get into the gameplay, the first thing I notice is that everything is pretty much the same menu-wise and the kind of theme-wise. It's the exact same kind of experience as you get back in FIFA 22, and I feel like first impressions when you first load up a game, that kind of excitement to the brand new menus, like maybe because I was younger, maybe I thought it was more important, but I like there to be a bit more of a change in the menus, maybe because I'm a graphic designer, so I like to see more than just a bit of a color scheme change. I wish it did more. I know that it's been like this for years, as it's the last FIFA. I imagine that, they won't make any effort in terms of the menu. So I guess maybe next year for EAFC, that's when we will see a very vast change of the menus. If it's no change for EAFC, then that's just pathetic in my opinion. So yeah, menus pretty much for the entire game is the exact same. Even in like career mode, when they made it an actual feature in their videos, like, oh, brand new menu, revamp menu. It's not a revamp menu at all. It looks the exact same. It's just a bit arranged differently. So a few different parts of it is in different areas, but it all does kind of look the same. Again, it's not a big deal, it's just menus, but yeah, don't expect like a big vast difference in terms of the actual visual element of it. Soundtrack, because I've actually listened to the entire soundtrack. I did a video literally 3 days ago showing you guys the entire soundtrack, because the full release was leaked a couple of days ago, which was a massive mistake by EA. I listened to the entire soundtrack on a video, and I actually think that it is relatively solid. Some decent songs in there, some head bops, and some are a bit more weirder than others. It's got a normal FIFA vibe soundtrack for me. It's hard to really rank it because, I think with music it's more about nostalgia and you're kind of feeling it after the fact. But the soundtrack feels like a solid, FIFA soundtrack. I don't think there's really much wrong. There's no real big names in there, so I don't expect like KSI or like, I don't know, or like Stormzy, but you get some okay songs in there which, over time may add more of a nostalgic element. But like, it's not like any insane bangers by any means, but it's okay. So let's get into gameplay. For me with gameplay, the easiest way to describe it and to kind of measure it is that I feel like it is good gameplay for a career mode perspective. For career mode, if you want realism, actually try to ping the ball across the pitch as if you're playing in a career mode offline setting. I'm trying like play like real life football. Then I think that with career mode, it would work. I feel like it does add an element of realism to score goals. I do find it a bit challenging at times, especially against a very tough AI. I played on Legendary. I thought that Legendary was quite difficult. I did a career mode save with Newcastle, and I thought that it was challenging to score goals. Maybe because the team didn't have the best stats dribbling-wise. only really the St. Maximin I had that really was really enjoyable on the ball. The gameplay for me is good for a career mode offline setting, but when it comes to FUT, I just think that it is incredibly frustrating. I've got an Xbox One, so I play on new gen, so I've got a brand new hypermotion technology. hypermotion for me is just a buzzword for the most part, really. Last year's hypermotion to this year's hypermotion, maybe the odd like animation you may tell is like may look a bit different, but it's nothing groundbreaking by any means. But yeah, I played FUT, I played career mode. FUT for me, it did feel a bit boring at times. There was quite a few games that was just very low scoring, but that's probably because like we both were getting used to the game and trying to get the best way to dribble past a player, try to like break down a defense. So yeah, I think also what may play a factor was the fact that, you know, in FIFA 22, you know, it's endgame, so many players has like insane dribbling stats and agility and balance. So maybe that's also an element of, you know, like it is like back at square one again. And I do find it very similar to the initial gameplay back in FIFA 22, which back when I played that as well in the beta, I also felt like it was, you know, it was tough to score goals. That, you know, if you play against someone that's on your level, you will have quite a competitive game that you actually need to try to pass the ball and tick it about well to create a chance. You know, like with those kind of players with those kind of lower stats, it's not as easy to do non-stop through ball, which is what was the same back last year. Issue was they did a patch very early on and player stats get so high up so fast that it kind of feels like a whole different game after a month or so. The thing is, whatever I'm saying now really means nothing if they patch it in the first month like they always do and basically turn it into into an entirely brand new game. That's the main concern about all of this. I do not mind a game if you make it slower and keep it like that, make it consistent like that. If I have to work harder to pass the ball about, and if I understand, if it's consistent, how dribbling works, how passing works, exactly, you know, the risk of me doing a more longer range pass, I don't mind that if it is consistent. Issue is that it changes so fast, the entire gameplay experience after a patch or two, that it feels like there's no point learning this new system if it will just feel like an entirely new game within a month. I don't think that the gameplay is bad. I feel like it's slower, a bit more boring at times and maybe frustrating, but it does feel like it is more satisfying to score goals, and that pretty much is kind of how I feel about PES, and it's got like a PES sort of feeling to it at times, but nowhere near as manual. Speaking about gameplay as well, the grass is greener, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a massive fan of seeing greener grass. I did an entire video ranking grass, so as a grass connoisseur on this platform, very happy about the brand new grass. But yeah, things like pace and a player that can actually dribble, you know, with some high agility stats does make a much bigger difference. And I guess that can maybe play a factor in terms of pay to win. If you play against a guy who has got an Mbappe, for example, and you don't, then they will just try to run past you in a straight line because, you know, your centre backs at this stage are nowhere near as fast as him. Oh yeah, as well, one thing that I noticed, I considered not too many, but a few goals that I kind of just felt like was just stupid. Maybe it's to make it realistic or something. I don't really know, but there was most definitely some goals that I considered that the keeper just did a weird animation to almost dive out of the way of the ball. In terms of the career mode experience, the manager mode is pretty much the exact same thing as last year. Genuinely, like, I don't notice anything that's really a difference. The menu is a bit more arranged. Dynamic moments barely happens. Maybe happen once or twice, but like it doesn't happen really enough for me to really notice it. Maybe later on, I didn't do a full season, so maybe if I did a full year, then maybe I can notice more things. But I didn't notice much. I had a look at Creator Club, and again, it looks the exact same experience. It's like 1 or 2 new stadiums, I think, and then like you can make a third kit, which you can customize. That the goalkeeper kit is not customizable really. You have like templates that you can, like generic templates that you can just pick, which I find kind of annoying. But yeah, but if there is some positivity, the player crew mode definitely is a different experience. There's definitely a few more things you can do. There's a few more parts of it that you can notice a difference. So with career mode, if you're a big player career mode fan, and you can definitely have some enjoyment and new experiences in that at the very least. So there is that. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. But yeah, the manager experience and Creator Club is pretty much the same. Like for the most part, if we're being really honest here, pretty much is the same. I didn't really play the moment stuff. That's because it's just not my kind of experience. But if you're someone that has a lot of time to kill, you can do that. But yeah, rivals and champs and draft, all that is the exact same. So all in all, like what I'm I'm saying here is really that the game is not that much different to 22. It's not. The gameplay is a bit more slower, but I can't tell if that's because, you know, of what we've been already used to, or if it is slower than 22. I think it is a little bit more slower than 22 initial gameplay, because there's a few more animations that may kind of make it feel a little bit more sluggish, and you may try and do a pass or a touch, but the game has to complete an animation before you actually can do anything after that. So, you know, it does feel a bit more slower, I think, but not by much. Basically, imagine the initial gameplay of 22. You know, there does feel like there's a bit of skill gap there to break a team down. It just does feel like that, to pass, you know, to understand your left stick dribbling. You know, there's a bit more of a sluggish element, so you can't just ping it all about everywhere. Tackling feels quite similar, I think, also to the start of FIFA 22 as well. So, of course, like, will I get the game? I will, because I enjoy, you know, the rebuild process of FUT. I really do enjoy the first month or two of building your team and, you know, like, trading and the market, and it'd be very different this year because of the fact it's all like put together. You're sharing the same marketplace, which I think will add a really interesting element to trading this year, and sniping especially. I'm looking forward to trying to do like an ultimate, like, career mode, like realistic career mode experience, because you can have that and you can have some enjoyment of trying to do that as well. But there's nothing that's really that much different to what we already have. That's just the point of this video here. If you know that you're going to get the game anyway, no matter what I say, then this won't mean much to you. And most of what I say is probably things that you already know. So that's just how I feel about it. If you are already on the fence and you don't really know, you don't have much money, etc., then you can just wait till later down the line. Wait till the World Cup comes out and then get a game then. However, I feel like EA are probably not going to make it any cheaper until after the World Cup for that reason. So you can make your own choice on things, right? Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe.